nitulize hamu wangu wa dhati. Hey, tamaa zangu zimenikwamia mikono. All right, so hi Anthony, how are you?
Hey, fine Patrick, how are you?
I'm good too. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Great. I don't know which direction you are seated, but we cannot see your face, your beautiful face, very clearly.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, we need to see your face clearly. I don't know. Maybe it's the background. I'm not so sure why, but still. Can you try to change the okay the a little bit?
How about
that? Okay. All right. You know, everyone is excited to see your face.
Okay. I'm here.
So anyway,
yes.
So how are you? How is everything? How is the quarantine?
Everything is fine. Quarantine is it's also fine. Actually, I just got from the office like now, and everything's okay.
Good. Right. Yeah. So anyway, these guys are trying to access this. Let me just try to set this a bit. Just a minute. I'm having trouble here. Okay. So. So guys, if just a minute. All right. So. All right. Okay. Sawa. All right. All right. So I will want to introduce the topic of today. Anthony welcomes to this broadcast. So today, Anthony, we are discussing about the change makers, especially the change agents, because this COVID-19 might be a reset button for our country, as well as we have to discuss about young people and how we can move forward and the kind of solution that young people hold. So today, joining this discussion is Wekesa. Wekesa he will introduce himself later, but I want to maybe take this opportunity to welcome everyone to this broadcast. If you want to join this broadcast, just use the link on the comment box, and then it takes you in.
Patrick, are you there? Wekesa? Patrick, are you there?
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because there's a very many number of people who are joining. That's why it's hanging. So I'm trying to set it up well. So that's the problem we are having. So So let me just try to set this so that we can start. Huh?
Yeah,
so
sure.
the issue is the number of people that are trying to access. Yeah. Just a minute. So at least we got Alphonse on this one and Dixon. Okay. All right. So today I'll be doing a lot of removing and joining so that, because today we have a special guest who is Anthony. Maybe when someone asks a question to Anthony, I'll just remove you, bring another person, because that's the trouble we are having right now. Because of that, there is a lot of hanging because of the number of people trying to access. So anyway, so we start. So first of all, Anthony, because you are our special guest, first of all, I want Wekesa to introduce himself. After Wekesa introduces himself, we'll go to Conrad. After Conrad, Alphonse will introduce himself. Steve will introduce himself. You are actually our guest, so it seems you are the one to answer most of everyone's question. All right.
It's okay.
Good. So let's start with Wekesa.
Yes, my name is Wekesa Eri. I am in Masaku County. I'm a specialist in sales and marketing.
Great. We go to Conrad. Conrad, since you still have a problem. With your mic. Conrad, introduce yourself. All right. So, Conrad, let me bring Steve. Steve.
Hi, Paul. Looks like you're breaking off today.
Yeah. We have I'm trying to set this.
My name is Steve. I'm a political advisor and also maybe 2022 or even sooner.
Steve, we cannot. Can you solve the echo part? I didn't get that. Steve, you might have opened several programs. Can you play with some? Or you leave and then
Steve, what you do, just switch off your phone, then switch it on. It will erase all the other programs.
Okay, good. So if I will have any, I don't know who else. Is it you?
Mine doesn't have an echo.
Alphonse. Okay. I don't know.
Yours is not very clear.
So I'm trying to set. Hold on. Get this right now. Conrad. Can you try to introduce your mic to be okay before we start? Conrad? All right. So, whose mic is that? Let me see if it's yours. Is yours Wekesa? Yeah, I think it's Wekesa's mic. Anthony's mic is okay. Wekesa, can you try to leave and come back? Because it's your mic that has echo. You get? All right. Good. I'm sorry. So we have some. This is technology. This is why Anthony is here. Right. This is why you are here. Yeah, so Alphonse, unmute your mic. All right, Alphonse, you can introduce yourself.
My name is Alphonse Were, labor policy consultant in Nairobi.
Great. So Alphonse is good. Conrad, briefly introduce yourself, please. All right. So it seems Conrad still have issues. I don't know what's up. Conrad usually is okay. I don't know today what's up. Conrad. Right. So anyway, we'll bring Dixon. Dixon, hi.
Hi, Patrick.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So I introduce yourself. And then you also have echo. I don't know what's up.
Okay, I don't know. Are you getting me clearly?
I can get you now.
Okay, my name is Dixon Arwasa. I'm an ICU nurse.
Great. You know, I didn't want to have issues in this conversation. That's why I'm trying to fix everyone's mic. Can you, Dixon, try to fix your mic? Dixon.
Okay. Yeah, are you getting me now?
No, the issue with your mic, I think it's you might have 2 or 3 programs running. Maybe you try to cross or you restart your phone and then join. You get me? All right. So Conrad, still you have some issues.
I think it's okay now.
Oh, okay. Good. Introduce yourself, Conrad.
Yeah, I'm Conrad Sanya, joining in from Busia. It's a pleasure to be in this discussion.
Awesome. Now, Anthony, just hold on. I just want to make sure everyone is okay so that when we start, it doesn't have any problem. Steve, are you okay now? Maybe you can introduce yourself. Good. Now you are good. Introduce yourself.
My name is Stephen Karuki. I'm a political advisor and also, I'm a political advisor.
Great. So let's see. Wekesa, now it's okay?
I think so.
Good. Now, maybe you can do your brief introduction again for the second time.
I'm Wekesa Eric. I'm in Machakos County and I'm in sales and marketing.
Good. I think now everyone is okay. That's good. So I want to bring this discussion to perspective. We are hosting Anthony Muthungu. Anthony Muthungu is an inventor. Recently, Anthony and colleague and his company, they have invented a ventilator. So Anthony, you'll correct me if I'm right or wrong on this. Anthony is also top 40 under 40 in Kenya, and also among Face of Kenya Science 2018 and top 100 Kenyans in 2019. So first of all, we'll get Anthony to introduce himself, and then we'll go to this conversation. How this conversation will run, I have my discussion, of course, but you guys will be asking Anton any question or anything you want him to clarify about his invention and everything. And anyone who wants to ask any question or join this conversation is welcome to do so. So Anthony, you can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Patrick. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Anthony Muthungu. I'm an entrepreneur and a social innovator. I'm also the founder of a startup called Totosai Limited that creates assistive solutions to people with special needs.
Awesome. Great. So maybe first, because we have several people in the studio, I'll bring someone who wants to ask a question and maybe we can continue. Let me first take Conrad out and then bring Dixon. Dixon, you can ask any question or any comment you have. And then we'll continue with this discussion.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I had introduced myself. I'm an intensive care unit nurse. And I'm sorry, my network is troublesome, but I hope you are getting me now. Ekesa, how are you?
Niko sawa.
Okay, now I would like to
Umenipata?
ask Anton one question. Okay, from the
Are you okay?
introduction, I've heard that he is an entrepreneur, and I think we are heading to the right direction in this country. Now, I would like to know the sustainability of the project he has just started, because most of the time you find that in some of these projects I started a very bright idea like his, but at some time you find that it has vanished completely. I don't know where the problem usually comes from, but one thing I would like to know is what plans do you have, Anton, and your team for sustainability of this project and to see more things happening in this country like the one you started.
Right, Anthony, you can.
Hi, Dixon.
Yeah.
Now to talk on our question about sustainability. Most of the time happens that any solutions created fails to be sustainable if it's overpriced or it's not solving a problem. And basically now, like yesterday, we had a conversation with the EPZ, that is Exports Processing Zone at the Ministry of Trade. And what we agreed now, and now the future of now the sustainability of, like, for example, our Volt Total Ventilator is that for any product to maybe hit the East African market, or for example, for us to be able now to sell our ventilator to Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, all the materials that are making this product should be not less than 35% content. So as long as now this product is no more than 35%, that product now can even be sold even to commercial market, Rwandan market. But the moment now the product becomes like the local content, that means the Kenyan content, it's less than that 5%. That product is termed as an assembly. It's like it's a product that you just bought and you assemble because there is no originality. So sometimes now you might want to sell a product outside the country, but the originality of us as African is not seen in that product. And basically now we are working so much in this ventilator to ensure not only do we have that 5% of our local content in this product, but above 50% of the local content that is making this product from Africa.
Mm-hmm. Good. Dixon, you have something else? Yeah. Sorry, Dixon, sorry. Uh-huh.
Okay, now what I would like to know is maybe the support from the government, because most of the times you find that such inventors have come up in the country. In the past, we've had such cases. You find some guys have come up with very bright ideas. They want to change things, but then you find that there is minimal support from the government. What I would like to know is whether Anton and the team are getting maximum support from the government, because the truth is at the moment the coronavirus pandemic has really made us think big, and it is really contributing to us making things now for ourselves. Now I think this is a wake-up call for the government. So the question is, how much is the government contributing to support you so that we can find this your project expanding even more and sustaining it even in the future? What is the government support in your project?
Okay.
Basically, this product of the ventilator was released yesterday because it took me with my colleague Peter Bilia a maximum of 17 days. That's from conceptualization of the idea now to what we presented yesterday. Now, I can say within yesterday itself, we were able now to visit the caves, and that was courtesy of the CS Trade, Bete Minor, we just went there. We were just given a call from there. Then we went there. We presented now the works to the KEBS, and basically there is one or two of area of improvement. But so far, with the comment we got from the KEBS is that it was the best ventilator presented to them so far. At the same time, and then also they promised like they'll keep in touch with us and anyone else who is making a ventilator out there for standards. But for now, they don't have a Kenyan standards or African standards, because what they are using is the global standards of ventilator. And then you find sometimes those global standards, the ventilator that is working in UK or in the United States, it doesn't feature, like that's not the ventilator that we need in African market. So they are twisting now the policies or the standards to have this a minimum viable standard that every a Kenyan ventilator or an African ventilator should have, and that should be in next one week. So in the next 1 week, we are going now to get now the right standard. But for now, there are no standards for the ventilator for now. A committee has been set at KEBS now to come up with the standards. Also, we managed now to visit the EPZ, that's the exports and processing zone at NHIF, that's under the Ministry of Trade. And basically, what now the EPZ are willing now to assist us is that, one, they are linking us now with the medics, because now we can create a solution in isolation. And these medics, we suggested ourselves they should be medics from KEMLI, because we expect to get all the medical engineers from KEMLI. We also now, the EPZ, courtesy of now the Ministry of Trade, is also able now to provide us now with the services of funding the product, now financing, so that now we can be able now to produce these units. Also, they assist us now with the issue of now intellectual property, how now to patent the idea, and so far the progress. And I can say today I received an email from Kenya Industrial Properties Institute requesting us to present our product now to them now, so that we can be able to file a patent. And also, we are also able now yesterday to meet Mr. Polycarp. Mr. Polycarp is the director of Presidential Delivery Unit at the Trade and Industrialization. And now he promised that now he will link us with KILDI, so that now we don't create this solution in our company's kind of isolation. So now probably now from next week, you'll find me and my colleague working at KILDI, creating the solutions from there, so that now we can be able now to access the government resources that are lying at KILDI. So that's now so far the support the government has promised, that they have the resources that are at KILDI, and any resources that we might require, we will use it to do the KILDI.
All right, great. So Dixon, maybe I'll stop there because ask questions. Is it okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Anton. And
sorry. Okay. All right. So,
okay, I'm just telling Anton that just keep up and don't allow your dream to die.
Dixon.
Yeah.
This is my 12th year doing this. I'm not losing hope any soon.
Great. Awesome. Great. All right. So the way we are going to go, I'll let the panelists ask you a question, and then that will be how we move. So we let panelists will be asking you a question. Conrad, so today we're doing it differently, but maybe before even you ask a question, I want maybe let me get guys to ask him question first. Conrad, just a minute. Let me ask this guy to ask a question. All right, Monda, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Do you have a question for Anthony before we proceed?
No, I've just come in. Maybe I'll try to follow what is happening.
Sure, that's good. So I'll be removing guys, bringing someone with a question, and then that's how we proceed. All right. So for now, Conrad will ask a question. But Anthony, before any question, can you put us to speed about your invention and how you are working with the ministry, like you are talking about now, the aspect of medics, as well as the standards, the right standards, the global standards for a ventilator, and just put us to speed about your invention.
Let me ask a question first.
So far, we took 16 days to make this ventilator, from conceptualization of the idea now to the final product. And then that's when, like, I have been silent since the COVID-19 issues started. And then I came now to think about it a few days ago, after 16 days. And basically, the reason why I was silent was that I was assessing how things are on the ground, because I was kind of following how my fellow innovators and engineers are planning to do. And then I noted that there was an issue. Everyone was working alone. You find someone is an innovator working somewhere in his compound, another one working somewhere in his house. So that's when I noted there is a problem here, because myself, I believe in teamwork. And then, like, this COVID-19 issue is not an individual issue. This is an issue that is involving all of us. And that's when I decided now to reach one of my great friends called Peter Billier. Peter Billier is the founder of Avol Talent Engineering Company. It's a startup. So we were with him, another training program in UK. We trained with him at Royal Academy of Engineering. It's in Oxford University. So I now try now to reach Peter Billier, and I ask him, hey boss, you see how it's happening? I think we can pull something together. And that's when now we started, like, what we need to do. We shared responsibility. Basically, I was working myself from Kajiado, all the way from Tok. In fact, I traveled on Wednesday to Nalombi from Kajiado. So we used now to put things together. Once it's done on his or her part, we used now to use the cargo, the worst cargo. Now send the package to Peter Billier, finish the work, send back to me. And then actually we met on yesterday now. That's when now we put the things together, what I've done from the other side, what he has done from this side, we brought them together, and basically it was great. So basically, I mean, so far, that's when we decided now to talk with one of my good friends and a mentor called Mr. Moleu. He was a former vice president of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industrialization. So then I sent out to him and tell him, hey, this is where we have reached so far, and then we need now to see the way forward. And that's when now we got a communication from the CS office that they are really so much interested in this product. We brought the product to them. And so far, we had also been involving medics to them, asking them what's happening, how do these products work. Because as we also did, like yesterday, we spent the day at Kenyatta National Hospital in ICU room, whereby we are seeing now how those ventilators are working. Also, today, we presented the same to Kenyatta National Hospital, nearly to more than 10 biomedical engineers, whereby, like, they were saying basically what we have, and God forbid, like, Kenya, we are not in a situation where we can able to handle this coronavirus issue, or this coronavirus issue triple anytime. Our ventilator that we presented to them is actually complete to solve this problem. And actually that gave us, like, hope that actually we are heading to that direction, because the medics are saying, if God forbid something happens, this product actually it's complete. So that's all, like, we are doing something, and like we are heading something, and I can assure you now the government is looking forward to support us through the KLD.
Okay, good. That's very good. Now that's up to speed. Wekesa had something, and then we cut him short. Wekesa, you can go now, and then I'll bring Conrad. Basically, panelists will be asking the questions and their comments. Wekesa? Wekesa? Wekesa, are you there? Wekesa? Can you unmute your mic? All right, Wekesa. All right, let me bring Conrad before Wekesa solve that issue. Just a minute. Conrad, can you ask your question to Anthony?
Okay, I was just interested to know, because I happen to have looked at his ventilator. I just wanted to know what kind of controls does he use. I saw the control panels, so I just needed him to just give you an overview of the control.
Conrad, are you there? Conrad, okay.
I think Patrick Conrad is sent to ask to me to give an overview of how the ventilator is working, kind of the overview itself.
Yeah.
And basically now, what we have is, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Basically, what we have is something we call a minimum viable product of a ventilator, and this ventilator is helping you now to it's able to help you now vary the pressure that is now getting into the patient. Actually, you are able now to control the inhalation and exhalation of this patient, and you are also in a position now to view that information via on a simple LCD screen we have. For a good example is that the normal ventilators that we have, for example, the ones that are used in ambulance, we call them ABU bags. It takes them a longer period now for medics to keep on placing that thing. Because remember also when we were yesterday at KNH, we were told like it's always a challenge for them when a patient has been referred to them from all the way from Mombasa to Kenyatta National Hospital, and he or she is at the ventilator and it's ABU bag. So now it is taking a longer distance for one of the medics to keep on placing now the bags up to KNH for 2 hours. And so like now even the ventilator that we have is actually it's portable, and it's even now working with the 12 voltage battery, and it's very easy now to operate, and it can even work well even with ambulances.
Okay, good. Wekesa, unmute your mic, and then after Wekesa we go to Steve. After Steve we go to Alphonse. After Alphonse, Munda, that way around.
Can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. Continue, we can hear you, Wekesa. Wekesa? All right. So, Wekesa, are you there? So, Steve, unmute your mic. Or Wekesa, you are okay now? Wekesa? All right. This, I tell you, technology can fail sometimes, huh? So, Steve, can you ask your?
Sorry, it's raining heavily in Machakos. Maybe that's the problem with. Hello.
Yeah. Continue. Hello? Sorry, you can hear you. Continue.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're okay now.
I'm okay.
Yeah, continue, Wekesa. Wekesa, continue. Wekesa. All right. So let's continue, Wekesa. Wekesa, continue. Continue. I think there is an issue with the network because everywhere is raining. So let's get Steve to before we get Wekesa's issue sorted. Steve, you can go.
Hi, Anthony. Congratulations. Mine is just to, tell you guys, keep up the good work, and we need to support all these ideas that you're getting, and we need to do everything we can to, to fight this pandemic. At least it's a blessing in disguise because the creativity of our people is being appreciated even by the government. So kudos to you guys. We support you where we can, and I mean, you guys just have to keep on moving. We need you guys up there to help out in this, even to prove that the country can, we don't need to be importing all these things. We can do them locally and even quality than what other people are doing out there. So you guys just need to move on and know that we are behind you. Yeah.
So thanks.
That's Steve is a politician, so he's a politician talk. Eh? So let's go to Alphonse.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. I've been faithfully following up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I don't want to ask you a question at this point so that I give others a chance to ask questions. I'm listening, and maybe I will be talking towards the end. I always talk on the platform. Okay. So I think it's good to give up.
Good. All right, so we can go to Monda. Monda, you can put your perspective now or even any question.
No, okay, I don't know. Is it strictly asking questions or we can just give a comment?
Yeah, you can give your perspective. Yeah, it's not strictly question.
Okay, that's why I've been a little bit quiet. I just wanted to see how this thing goes. Am I allowed to give a political comment because I'm a politician?
Yeah, even Steve is a politician and a serious one for
Thank
that
you.
matter. So you can.
So, okay, my brother Anthony, congratulations. We thank you as Kenyans for that.
Thank you.
And, you know, this is, you know, that's why we always keep saying that once an individual succeeds in our society, it's for the benefit of us all. And now from the from the policy or from the legal perspective, I'm not a lawyer, but according to what I know, you should probably ensure that you patent your invention so that the vultures will not come and mess up, because that is your intellectual property.
True.
And you have to move with speed, because as much as we're in a crisis, and I know you have a good heart, you want to help, there are some people here who are out to do business. By the end of this crisis, my brother, believe me, we are going to have guys come out of these billionaires, because it doesn't matter. We have guys who are out to make money regardless of the situation. Not all people are really human, okay? They look human from the look, but deep in their heart, they're animals. So honestly, I just encourage you to just move forward and do that. And now with the whole issue of inventions that has been around in the country, it is quite heartwarming. And it has happened simply because Kenya was left with no option, because everybody out there is battering out the pandemic. And that's when now the desperate leadership came back. Okay, can we, let us see what we can be able to do locally. And for all this long time, you know, they have made us to believe that we cannot do anything. That's why we keep importing even toothpick. That's why we import everything from out there. Yet, it has been proven that we have the potential. It's my prayer that after the end of this COVID-19, I hope it's coming to an end, I believe, very soon. I hope that the government will move forward to, maybe the government would have learned a lesson, that every time they look forward to something as a country or as a ministry, they should also engage the local young people locally and give them a chance. I like what the lady, the CS for Trade and Industry, what she did last time when she came out and said, hey, we need this. Can somebody be able to make this? Because this is what we need. We don't need to import it. We want to source it locally. When they went ahead to encourage different groups to make PPEs and so on. So ideally, it's not that we have not had a potential. It's because we have had the get quick rich mentality. Guys who want to cut deals, guys who want to just, you know, make their money and move on. Okay, so my brother, as much as you are helping us, thank you, but you must know that you are living in the midst of the wolves. These guys who have not been supporting your success, they have only come to listen to you because we are in a crisis. Can you protect your property?
Okay, good.
That's what I have to say. Yeah.
Great. Before I go to Steve, and I need Alphonse now to come clearly after Steve, in terms of how we protect you, or what kind of laws are there that actually protects your invention. But before that, I want maybe Anthony to talk in terms of how did you get inspired to be a young entrepreneur and actually to go to this kind of invention, and how do you even motivate someone who is out here and looking to do something like yourself?
Basically, this idea of innovation is something that it's all about passion. If you are passionate about something, if you are curious about something, you always find a way out. I recall myself, I started this way back when I was in standard 6. And then I recall it's a passion. It's something that has been in me. And it's something I can say, like, it's something that you get from learning or from the school. Because you can be an engineer, but kind of the things that we do, you can do. Or at the same time, you can find someone who is not an engineer, but he or she is doing some things like an engineer is supposed to be doing. So it's all about the passion. And basically, if you have passion, if you are passionate about that thing you are doing, not only do the policies or the standards or the landscape can stop you. It's all about passion. And also, like, that's what I keep on telling those people who are coming up in this area of innovation. Actually, it's not a simple journey. Because if you can see me, I did my first stuff when I was in the 2012, that when I came to.
All right. Continue, Anthony. Anthony? All right, maybe Anthony is having also some network issues. Anthony? All right. All right, guys. So before Anthony sorts his network issue, before he comes back, so maybe we can go to Steve and then Alphonse before Anthony comes. So Steve, can you share in terms of maybe young people? You know, Anthony is doing it, and there's so many entrepreneurs out here, like young guys who are here. They have the vision, but they have not been able to do it. Now, what stands between them and this vision of Anthony?
Basically, the young people themselves. There is nothing standing. There's nothing limiting young people from innovating or from becoming, from making it. It's just a matter of changing the mentality. We need to change and believe in ourselves that we can do things. And again, we also have to support each other in terms of whatever we do as young people. I don't think there's anything limiting young people from achieving it. From the government side, I know there is a lot that has been done, only that young people are not tapping to those opportunities that are already set in place.
Okay, good. So Alphonse, we can go to you, but now Muthungu is not here, but I'm trying to get him back. So maybe let's explore the kind of landscape and policies we have.
Yeah, I think in such a situation, I don't know how much Anthony is endowed with in terms of knowledge when it comes to the legal framework. Anthony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. I would say I'm being asked to give my opinion or something I can say about the protection of the patent, the rights, or the work that you are doing. Now, I had just started by saying I don't know how much exposure or knowledge you possess when it comes to the legal framework that comes with protectionism of your brand or your patent or your intellectual rights. But because you are on a public platform, I may not want to say much. I will just want to give some specific guidelines that might be of help. One is that you need a lawyer or an advocate. So don't be too smart for the process. In such a situation, most of us get smarter. We think lawyers will ask for more money, but your patent is worth much more than your lifetime in terms of livelihood. So what you're doing needs proper protection. As we speak, the president of the Kenya Law Society of Kenya, Nelson Harvey, called for people with such ideas like yours to reach out to advocates, including himself or his team, so that they can see how best to protect you. Now, I think it was Monda who was talking about the vultures out here waiting to eat. The issue, I think just a few days ago on this platform, I was calling such individuals predators. And I said, we have more predators here who are waiting to see whom to eat. So you have been given a platform to be eaten by the same predators, and they are high and mighty. So what you need is protect the patents. So even as you go to Kirdi, as you work with the Ministry of Industrialization, there are a few people there who are of good hearts, and they are not the people who will be doing work with you day to day. Instead, they are the ones who will be giving instructions to those working with you on what to do, and sometimes, and that sometimes is most of the time, more than 5 out of 10, will be wanting to know how to quickly run with your idea and register it ahead of you. So, and they know how to maneuver because they have network in the system. So from the word go, as fast as this weekend, if you have not yet started, get an advocate. Or if you are not able to do that quickly and you need a good advocate, I can offer myself to assist you get one. But it's a space that you must protect that, because you may not have to invent or innovate everything in life. And not every year will you be coming with an innovation. It's an expensive process in terms of time, in terms of idea, in terms of prototyping until it's functional. So where we are is, my interest is you have come up with something good. It must be protected. So don't assume that the urgency to produce it massively is higher than the urgency to have your brand protected. So for you, the brand protection is the most urgent and most important. Now, those who want to have them used should now focus on the other side. So the win-win situation is where they should invest partly, and the part of that investment should help you now to protect it. So even if it will mean that in this season you don't make a livelihood out of it, but you are able to close the deal of having it patented, that is a greater win in my view. And therefore pursue the protection of that right, pursue the continuity. In your absence, this thing will be produced just the way if I wrote a book today, it can be reproduced when I'm dead. So what will happen when my book is being produced and people are buying it and I'm not there? Now, such type of protection and getting a lawyer will be the best, and you need to get a top-notch lawyer. This is a very huge lifetime opportunity to make a difference in the entire society. So I think that's what I want to say at this point. The other thing I want to say is that such work, we will always have one or two members of the team coming out as the inventors or the innovators. Like in this case, we are talking about Anthony. But behind the scenes, from my career and experience, is that you can't do it alone. So you have a huge team doing small things, but you are the team leader. So if we say that Isaac Newton discovered law of gravity, the process of that experiment was done by very many people. Yeah, but he was the team leader. He was the lead researcher. Therefore, he's the one who we talk about. But if you analyze, there are many, and it is in all fields, whether they are politicians, whether they are medical doctors, whether they are engineers, innovators. For us to come out successfully, we must work with the team. Now, also prioritize to give strength to your team by motivation, by recognizing them, so that they have the heart and desire to work with you and to build you as you build them. Because again, if you ignore them, they might be the same people who brought you up and will bring you down. So I think, to me, those two key components. Now, there's this need that comes with our age mates and the desires in our backgrounds, where when you have a breathtaking innovation, sometimes you have the need now to come out of poverty very quickly. So there will be several people who will be fronting cash, yeah, in exchange of equity. Yeah, yes, and it will be good cash. I have a friend who was given 200 million for 40% of his company, and the company was not even at that point worth 10 million. Yeah, but the idea was more than 10 billion worth if you analyze it technically. So when he came, I remember we talked and we agreed he should not even sell 1%. Yeah, and 8 years down the line, he's way past that mark, and he's still in full control. So the issue of control of the idea, the full control of the process is key. So even if you will reach there, you will still need some consultants, and legal consultants should be at the top of your list. But also you have the business consultants. People will now tell you, for scalability, for this to scale up, what should be the direction you take. Yeah, let me pause there because we are many in the forum. I should not take more time. I am a preacher who preaches like a politician.
Good. And also politician. Anthony?
Thank you, Alphonse. I have noted your concerns and the comments, and I can guarantee you that it will be handled actually.
Great. So I want to bring someone else. Maybe let me bring Steve. You have something now, or Monda?
No, mine is a question. Now that Alphonse brought up a perspective of business consultation, and do not be lied. This world, it's about, especially when we are in a capitalistic society like ours, we're also looking at the benefits. So, my brother, I believe the truth deep in your heart, the pillars right there. Yes, you have something, but you are also looking at how you can grow your economic empire in future. So, my question is this: so far, we have had a few other inventions. We had a case, we had about KU. Then there's this guy Kairu. He's trying to come up with something, and then I also had another group. So specifically, okay, based on your model, what is this? Oh, can you tell us one thing that is going to make it stand out, above all these others?
All right.
Thank you, Monda. Basically, we have also seen all those ventilators that has been allowed, and that's why I say, like, first of all, now me and my team, now we had first of all to pause and see what people are doing, and basically, and that's when we also noted they are doing in individual, and that's we decided to work as a team. And what we did as a team is that we came up with one of the portable total ventilator that is functional, and actually even the ministry recognized that that's the most portable ventilator brought to them so far. And also one thing I've noted about these ventilators that we are using, we have this unit called ABU bags. We all import ABU bags. Ourselves, actually we are making ABU bags. The next product that you see, that being ABU bags that's being compressed to give in air, is not the normal ABU bag that is imported. You see an ABU bag made from a locally available material, where now others who spare the time buying the ABU bags will be making ABU bags ourselves.
Right. Okay. So that's the value differentiation. Yeah. All right. So Wekesa, I hope now the network is fairer to you. Wekesa, can you unmute your mic? All right. So Wekesa, I'm sorry that today has been chaos. So please now push with your perspective and any question to Anthony.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. It's raining heavily this side.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, so that's the source of network breakups. But I want to, first of all, I want to congratulate our friend Anthony Muthungu. Muthungu means you are
white.
It's a slang to mean a white guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
true.
I think it's your mind that is white.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh my God!
First of all,
I'm gonna protest. I hope you're not throwing a racial card here.
on a light note.
Yes. Please.
Okay.
I hope you have not been. I'm sorry for interjecting. Michael Joseph made a remark that that made me lose a lot of respect for him.
Okay.
When he said that Bob Colmo was a black man with a white man's heart.
Yeah.
Yes, and since that time, he was a guy I really respected so much. But by the moment somebody elevates a race, no way. Okay, I understand you, sir.
I have withdrawn my remarks with immediate effect. So I'm saying,
thank you.
First of all, my comment was that I've seen us flip-flop between invention and innovation. I think for my brother's case, it falls squarely in innovation, because he hasn't come up with something that is completely new, that is not on this planet Earth. But it's happening elsewhere. What he has done is done an innovation. Although also in innovation, there are those radical innovations that brings completely new skills on board. And maybe from my own sales and marketing point of view, I want to ask him or challenge my brother. You know, for us as Kenyans, we are excited because you have done something new. But to the clients, it's about the product you are selling. So okay, in we talk about competitive edge. So what is that? What is that thing that is in your product that should make a client buy your product and not any other? Is it maybe, do we say that you have come up with a product maybe will be affordable to Kenyans? We may not be having many ventilators in Kenya, so by yours being
Wekesa?
Patrick, let me
Just,
respond
yeah.
to Wekesa.
Sure.
Basically, Wekesa is talking about now if we are providing the right product. Basically, we and my team, we believe in something we call user-centered approach, whereby we always love to create products while involving now the user at the same time. And that's why you hear so much that say, like, today we spend the whole day at Kenyatta National Hospital working with the medics and seeing how the ventilators in the ICU are working. Yesterday we were still at Kenyatta National Hospital immediately after we left from the meeting from the CS office, and actually we even requested now the Minister of Trade now to link us with the medical experts, which now are Kemley. So we believe so much working with the people who at the end of the day will be now the users of our products. And that's why now working with the medics, we are guaranteed that we will not make any mistakes, because every step that we make, they are there. And I can tell you that working with the same medics are the ones that said today, God forbid something happens and we are not able now to handle this case, the ventilator that we presented to them is actually complete. And that's why we are working so much with the medics to ensure that we provide the right product. On the other hand, he asked about now the question like, what to make people come for a product and not go for the other product. Like what we said is that now for us even to be able to penetrate now the East African market, this is now the way of like the entire product should be more than 35% local content, so that we can sell the product to Uganda if the material that's making the products are not more than 35%. So we are trying now to make our product have the 35% standards to be able to sell outside the Kenya. That's why we are saying now, like for the Abu bag that is imported, we and the team, we are trying now to make the Abu bag here. Everything that is lining in that ventilator, apart from these small things like now the electronic components that have to come now from the importation, we are working now with every locally available material so that we can ensure this product not only will have the 35% of the local content, and that's the African materials, but it will also have 50%. Actually, we should look for now to have a look at now our second prototype that will have more than 50% of the local content.
Okay, good. Alphonse, maybe you want to respond to Monda's about capitalistic, and you have been very categorical on this channel that Kenya does not have a capitalistic state. Maybe you want to respond?
Yeah, but I think I am listening to Anthony keenly. And what is very clear is that Anthony did not wake up in the morning when COVID-19 came and said, I can do it. I think he has mentioned something that he has been in the field for the last 12 years or so.
Yeah.
I think what resonates with what I've said in the past is the fact that if you commit to something, the opportune time will just come. Yeah, but if you're plan B, you'll always run for plan B and you abandon plan A, which should be the only plan. Yeah, and if you're solving a problem also, I said, if you solve a problem, then definitely time will come when you get paid, whether they want to pay or not. They will have to changa the money. They will have to get the money or sources from elsewhere and pay you. In his case, he is not bringing a new good experience. He's just actually solving a problem, alleviating a pain, and making work easier. So I think he is in the right place. Now, the question that was brought out by Wekesa, I think is more of value proposition. This is not the only ventilator in the market. That's what I hear. This is not the one that we have from Kenyans, the only one from Kenyans now. That's also another thing I hear. So then the issue is, suppose everybody now has their product in the market full and ready, and they will not give you preferential treatment. They will give everybody the opportunity. So what will be the most selling point you have over and above everybody else? Of course, you have mentioned something like portability, or it is something we can move with it from one place to another in the ambulance as we take care of the patient, and I think that is a good thing. The other thing you have also said is that in your process of fine-tuning the products, you are also working closely with the users, that is the actual medics. Now, when you use the actual medics, they are going to help you understand what exactly they know in relation to these facilities they use in the past, so that you either give a replica or you give an improvement or an improved version of that. And I think that's also the right direction. So in terms of mindset, in terms of spirit, I think Anthony is in the right direction and his team. Keep it up. Keep it that way. That's what I can say. But Wekesa is back. I would like to hear from Wekesa.
Yes, Wekesa, I want. All right, Wekesa, I want your perspective in terms of what Anthony's innovation is actually now. Customer is coming to him, but I believe maybe after COVID-19, he will need to go to customer. So, what is this very important in terms of marketing that he needs to incorporate now? That when he's going to the customer, who is now the hospitals and medics, that he needs to have.
Okay, before I come to that, there was a question I was to ask him, then the network disappeared. I wanted to say that, like, there are scientists in Israel, whom I'm here, they have worked on a vaccine for COVID, but then it has been patented in America. So my question will be that, because the greatest challenge is always funding the whole innovation. Are you ready to be bought by the well-moneyed people, so that we hear Anthony has patented his product in Jamaica or in South Korea?
Okay.
Let me answer that before I proceed to the other.
Basically, Wekesa, thanks. That's a good question, and I can guarantee you that I'm here and I'm going anywhere. So this product has to be patented here in Kenya, and that's why I said I can look forward moving to Kenya Industrial Properties Institute, and that's why I also call now the government. So it has now, the government has a role to play now to link us, now the innovators, now to the Kenya Industrial Properties Institute. Now it should be like this is the time now that we are not the one who is looking now for Kipi, but for Kipi to look for us. And like I said, like I just found an email from Kipi requesting me if I need any assistance, I can just pop into the office at South Sea with my team.
Right.
Okay. So maybe my contribution in terms of sales and marketing will be that for product to be accepted in the market, just as it has taken you 12 years to go through the whole process before you come up with a successful innovation. It will also take you quite a number of, or a good duration, let me not specify, by a good duration for you to easily penetrate the product and be acquainted with the customers. One thing you need to do is that there are product life cycles. There's a stage where your product can be rejected by customers. They can say that one of the things in market, we always talk about customer loyalty. Most customers are loyal to the products they are using. That's why you will find somebody, I will still go to, I will say, I'm used to the China ventilators, they are the best. So it will take time to convince them that our local actually ventilators also they meet that standard and they are the best. I have seen our president trying to market the Eldoret textile. He used to be Rivertex. He used to wear every Friday the made in Kenya. But a few people have impressed it and also accepted that that's the way to go. So most of the time we are resistant to change and we take time to change, but don't give up. Don't look at our culture. Culture is a key thing in terms of marketing. People take time to change their mindset in terms of product acceptability. And another thing you need to do is you need to have to invest in that product awareness. Yeah, like you are saying, you have added advantages that your product is bringing on board. Those should be highlighted and make sure that your marketing is done. You may come up with the strategies of how you need to market this product. And for now, I will say that sometimes situation is an easy marketer. If you can get away, they can help you distribute part of your product in this season. It will be easily marketed in this season than any other season when there is no much focus on the same product. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Anthony, you have something to say about that?
Yeah. Basically, like I was telling now, Wekesa is that we are creating our own abu bags because most of the abu bags used by the ventilators are all imported. And now we have seen it's a challenge that all the abu bags have been run out of stock. There's no medical shop that you go and find the abu bags are existing. And you see now these abu bags again come from China. And then again, even the China itself are in need of these abu bags. That's why we are saying now as now the Voltoto team, actually we are making our own abu bags. We no longer have to go to the shops and buy abu bags or import any abu bags. So basically we are trying out to create everything from what we have. And this now should be posed back to the government, like actually everything that we need, it's here. I don't think there's much more that we need to seek now from the West.
All right, good. So Alphonse is having a take on patent and also his perspective. And also after Alphonse, I want to get you answer some questions from Ruth. Ruth is in the US. Alphonse, can you mute your mic?
The patent has two dimensions. One is the local dimension that Anthony has said, but also you have what you call international dimension. And in the international dimension, three locations are very key in the world. That one is China, the other one is US, the other one is the European Union. Now, part of help that you will still require is people who understand that space. And I'm talking from a legal perspective, whereby you need a legal expert who understands that space so that they're able to give you proper direction and on time. Because as we speak, people are listening. And as we said, we have predators, and there's a lot that goes on that direction. Actually, most of our products are never patented because by the time the owner wants to patent, it's already patented elsewhere. Yeah, so those are the reasons. So before you even start describing the features of your broadcasting the features, not necessarily discussing, but broadcasting them to the public, you need to ensure that there's some level of protection that has been taken. Otherwise, if you give us everything here or in any other platform like a television or radio, you might just be selling away your birthright in relation to your work. The other thing I also want to give my opinion on is the issue that Wekesa has talked about sales and marketing of your product. Now, there will be no other better season for your product than now, whether you have it ready for the market, scaled up or not yet. This is the best season. So if you're able to get platforms, interviews, and you just explain to people the solution, that the problem you're addressing, how you are solving it, and then you don't need to give us the details of your product, but you give us the key stages of the problem that you're addressing and how your solution is the best fit, so that those who want to partner with you can easily come out, and those who have cash and don't know who to partner with can now know who to partner with. And those the 40 billion in 40 days that we are spending without knowing, we can also have a possible public pressure to help the country to channel some resources in such a situation by building its own people and capabilities. Yeah, so patent in the European Union and the US specifically for our market, but also for China are very key places, and you need to just understand whether if you patent in Kenya alone, how will it affect your product outside Kenya, particularly outside Africa? Because I'm made aware that even the Masai Kanga is not a Kenyan product.
Yeah,
it is actually it's actually patented elsewhere. So you can imagine such things. Yeah, yet if you see it, you see Kenya. But now there's somebody who owns that patent so much that if it's supposed to go commercial, they have a right to stop the process or get paid because of using that as their product. Yet they have never done anything about it. It was ours from the word go to date, but we didn't protect it. We just jumped around with it and entertained others with it, and now it is gone. Yeah, so get keen on that, but also you together with the directors and the other close associates and team members, make this one of the major pillars of your discussion in your journey towards making your product ready for the market.
Okay, you can respond, Anthony, on the same, on maybe international patents.
Basically, we also look for, and first of all, you have to start out with the local patents where we have KIPI. And then once we have KIPI, I think the first thing we need is to do a RIPO. But now it's just now patent to Africa now before you go to WIPO now, which is now belongs now to the world intellectual properties. But I think now we're going to start now with KIPI, and then we follows now to a RIPO, so that now we can be able now to patent it in Africa. And also there's also another question like now to respond to our comments. I saw a question from Ruth Osolo, who is asking how our solution will be adaptable in different contexts in Kenya. Basically, like what I said before, is that our product is nearly more than 35% African content. Everything that is making the ventilator is from here, and that's what now the standards of selling any products outside the East African market. So since now the product is above that 5% of the local content, we can guarantee that the product can be absorbed by COMESA and the East African community very quickly.
Right, good. And also just Ruth, she is also having several series of questions. So let me check this one. Saying that one I think you have addressed. There's another one. She's talking about the innovation has to have, okay, she's giving you these features. I believe your innovation has all those.
I'm noting.
Yeah. So I believe you have those features. And she's also talking about the same that. And now the last one, she's talking about kind of partnership, and that's my interest. Now, Anthony, can you tell us, do you have room for partners or even people like Alphonse might want to join your venture, not necessarily to buy shares, but to provide other kind of human resource or even to your venture, which is good, win-win. We can look at a win-win. You have that kind of mechanism.
Patrick, let me just make this clear. I had said that before I put the team together. I remember I told them this is not one man. I mean, this is not one man war. We need to win this COVID-19 war as a team. And I remember I was telling other people, like, we need a huge team. And we're also open now to people like if Alphonse say like their service or there's something that we are missing, he is open to propose to us. And since we believe in teamwork, that we can only win together, we look forward now to engaging everyone. We're also now in making even now this ventilator. Actually, we are also in need of third parties, companies. Like for instance, now the ventilator can't work without an oxygen cylinder. And then from here now, that's when now we look like a third party like BOC. That's when we can bring the BOC in now, so that now they can provide the oxygen cylinders. We also now have like kind of, from the other side of the ventilator, we need like kind of, there's some elements whereby that require medics. So we can say we can complete this journey if we are not involving other third parties like Kemli to come in. Basically, we are open to anyone, because actually we don't want to, we are here to help. We want to save the humanity. And if you are that person to make this thing a reality, we are open for that.
Oh, great. Conrad just arrived. Conrad, I'm sorry that tonight there has been so much issues on network. Maybe Conrad, you can share your perspective and also maybe any question you want to push, just where we have reached with the conversation.
I think today I was having very many challenges with my network. It has been raining, so it's always an issue when it is drizzling here with the network issues. So I had asked a question. I don't know if he answered it, but I just probably answered it in my absentia. So because I just needed to know the simple working mechanism. How is that ventilator working? How is it? I think different from the other ventilators, other than the cost, and can it be used what kind of personnel are needed to use that ventilator? Is it simple enough that we can have other cadres that probably are not that specialized, but they can easily use it?
Right.
Basically, Conrad, what you have done is that our ventilator not only is the simplest to use, but it's also portable. So it doesn't have so many complicated features, because as we understood from the medics, is that this ventilator should be in capability of to control the amount of oxygen the patient is inhaling. So basically, our ventilator is able now to give the patient the right amount of oxygen is required. For instance, the patient requires to have 4 milliliters of water of the oxygen, from our ventilator, you are able now to set the amount of what the patients need. So it has that capability of fixing the amount of the oxygen need, the amount of inhalation that is needed. At the same time, it also has the capability to raise an alarm when someone's interfere with the set parameters of the ventilator. For instance, if now a medic said now the ventilator that the patient should be able now to get this amount of oxygen per minute, and someone passes there and interfere with the ventilator, it has a capability of raising an alarm on the same.
Okay. All right, Conrad. Conrad, are you there? Right, we lost him again. I'm sorry. So from what we are listening from you, Anthony, is that this ventilator, you are working with the right specialist in the medical field, and basically this ventilator can be used anywhere in the world after it is completely assembled. That's what you are saying, right?
Yeah, true. And that's the reason to why we went now for cabs now for them. Basically, the reason why we went to cabs is not to present the ventilator, but we went to cabs to know the areas of improvement, basically, because we knew we are not yet there because it's the first prototype. So we presented our works to CAB just to identify the area of improvement.
Mm-hmm. Great. So in that aspect, I want to know, have you received any promises from either the government entities, the various maybe government entities, in terms of marketing your product, maybe outside this country or even Africa? Of course, you are talking about going to Africa and then you can patent it anywhere. But do you see goodwill from the government in terms of pushing this product to elsewhere in the world?
I believe now, so far, the promise that we have is that the promise that we got now from Mr. Polycarp from the PDU, that now he will write now to the CEO of Kildi, so that we can be able now to work at Kildi together with my partner Peter. And so far, that's what we can say we have. And also now we can say like there's a promise that the government is willing to support us, and I can guarantee that if I'm not assessing the situation wrong, actually after this COVID-19, the situation will change.
All right. Maybe Alphonse, you can respond in terms of selling outside, and then we go to Ekesa and then to Conrad.
Yeah, I think you have a solution. Don't focus on where to sell it. Focus on making it work. at this stage. We have each and every time and stage. So I think I'll be considering myself misguiding you if I tell you to think about marketing it to outside the market now. Consider yourself to have a product that will work. So what you should be focusing on now is 1, a complete product, 2, fully functional product, 3, an affordable product, 4, a product that can easily be scaled up in terms of if you are to get resources to be producing 1,000 per week, then you can get there. So those scalability. So think about search. So when search is already built, then the next stage will also come.
All right. Good. So, Wekesa, is this the revolution we wanted or we needed so badly? And it's here now when we have a crisis of COVID-19.
Okay. Before I reach there, let me maybe comment something. Or I ask him to respond on this. We have had so many excuses in Kenya. And even one of the challenge was posed by our governor, my Masaku governor, Alfred Mutua, that it's time we need the professors and the doctors to come up with solution. We need to see research happening and even they come up with a vaccine. For most, I think one of the outbursts was that Kenya in research cannot be done because there is no money to fund research. In your own take, did it cost you so much to come up with such an innovation?
Basically, it didn't cost us that much because 1, we were trying out to use the locally available materials. So, and these materials that we actually source them here locally. And this actually, if you have seen the ventilator itself, the total cost of production can't go beyond 40,000 Kenya shillings.
Wow. And
yeah, I think now, yes.
Maybe you can tell us now the actual cost to the customer. Of course, I was seeing at 50,000. So does that mean if you are producing at 40,000, you are making a profit of 10,000 in each ventilator?
You see, Patrick, actually, there is one element we are using called Abu Bag. And this Abu Bag, actually, we are buying it at 80,000 Kenya shillings. And this is something that we said, me and my team, we are working hard now to make from our own, from using the locally available materials to make those Abu Bag. And we can guarantee you, if we can be able now to make these materials here locally, even that cost of the ventilator from 50,000, we can guarantee you that will be low. Actually, I can guarantee you this, that will be the only company between me and my partner that will be providing a ventilator that is working, an affordable ventilator, a reliable, at the cheapest cost.
Wow, that's a very strong.
We even look forward going allowed even maximum 25,000 Kenya shillings for one.
That's so interesting, yeah. So, Wekesa, from a marketing point of view, this product seems to be very affordable. And then Ruth, she's saying that there is stigma in the world when it comes to marketing products that come from developing countries like Kenya. Now, how do we mitigate that? Because this product also needs to go to those developed economies.
Yeah, I want to say that it's good to take advantage of a good crisis. We have a crisis right now. I've seen products that people had not even given an attention being bought because of what is happening in the world. Right now, a ventilator is something that is urgently needed, and most of the economies are on recess. And therefore, if somebody hears that there is a ventilator which can do the same work but at a lower price, they will go for that. So one of the things I have seen in a product in the market is that price stands out. Any time you have a product that seems to be affordable to people, most of the time it will go to the larger population. So majority of people will always go for an affordable product. If it can give us the same quality, do the same job, but at a cheaper price, people will consider it first. Only a few products for ostentation is when people buy because they are willing to spend more for the same product. For this one, because of the crisis that is there, a price will stand out, and I can tell you it will sell. And so they need to take advantage of this crisis and make sure they have penetrated the market. People will remember their stigma later. That they are not, they don't want products from Africa, they don't want products from Kenya later. But for now, they are looking for something to help them solve the problem they have. Look at even the strategies Madam Gill used to, that she is now selling her company across Kitui. A part of the product she's selling, part of them she's using for marketing. In marketing, there are few, you can give free samples. You can give one sample to Museveni, give another sample to Kagame, give another sample. Let them see, and they will appreciate and buy the product from Africa.
All right. So, Alphonse, is this the revolution we really wanted, badly wanted, in terms of young people going out there and seizing the moment and doing the right thing?
No. There's nothing new. This guy, we are talking about him because of the crisis, but whatever we're talking about is an idea that is 12 years old. If there was no crisis, he might have given up along the way because nobody could have seen him in the limelight. So the revolution comes on board when we practice protectionism. For example, now we must be very clear that in this crisis and beyond, we must have laws that protect us. If we can do it here, we will not get it outside. Yeah, because you see, after this, there are still merchants, just the way we have maize locally produced and farmers get it at a low, they don't even sell their maize. And then government says we don't have a contract to buy your maize. Maize, not anything else. Yeah, and then when the maize is now rotten, and they say we don't have maize, so we have to go and buy outside, simply because there are merchants who want to have some trade outside there to get a bigger kill, because they are predators. So for me, I'm waiting for a policy and a legal framework that protects the Muthungus, from being eaten up, because this gentleman and the many other Kenyans don't have the muscle to protect themselves, but they have the capability to produce what they have innovated. So in that space, the expectation is, can we protect them? But if you can't protect rice farmers, then what guarantee does Anthony have today once the crisis subsides? So to me, what we are waiting for, what we have been talking about the young people, is not that they cannot do anything. They can do a lot more. In fact, this is just an example, because you see, when crisis came on board, he came on board, and he didn't come alone. He's not the only one who has come with this product. So which means there are many others out there in each and every field. This one is in the medical field, fusing medical and engineering. But there are those ones in other fields. In technology. I was discussing with somebody recently, and I told him about a specific solution I have for elections. And particularly when it comes to counting of votes. And confirming the results. I told him I have this solution. My problem is that once it is confirmed, the only thing that will not happen is that it will not be given a chance to live. But I told him, before I show that product at that stage, what I need is to get enough resources, and I want to give people who are very weak. You see, those who want to protect their votes, to use it, not IEBC, but those who want to protect their votes, and they have a lower chance of winning because of the muscle they have on the ground in terms of euphoria, in terms of such. So that now they test it. When it is tested at that level, then we'll be able to say this thing was working, because you can tell if any cheating has happened you can tell this place was cheated, because in every polling station there is agents, not for one party, not for one candidate, and not for one role. So if you're an MCA, you need your candidates there. If you're an MP, you need your candidates there. If you are a governor, you need your candidate. You need your agents. Sorry, your agents there. So almost every person vying has a right to have 2 agents. Now, if you are likely to get a bigger result. So in that spirit, for us to protect the idea that Anthony has and many other Anthonys in this country, what we need is what protects them. If he's not protected, we'll hear another story like the one we had from those high school girls saying that this was our idea. Now we see the government is implementing it as if it has pioneered. We presented this before the CS of this and this ministry. Now, that is not what I want to hear from this story of Anthony. And that's why I'm telling Anthony to not be in a hurry, but instead be more clear with his steps, each and every stage from a legal perspective, because he needs that protection. He must get that protection. But we need a clear protection from the word go, so that even if he didn't know how to do it, once his invention or innovation comes on board, we are able to work with him through automatically.
All right, great. Anthony, you want to respond to Alphonse? Anthony?
Basically, I think I agree with Alphonse that we need some policies and frameworks that protects what we can do, because it should have policies whereby anything that can be made here in Kenya, we don't have any room for imports, because now we have some funny things like toothpicks coming from outside the country, and you see those are the things that we can make here. So I think that would be very important if we can have that kind of a policy that protects us. Actually, the policy that can say like we're no longer importing ABCD. So it's for us now as Kenyans and innovators now to find the way of bridging that gap of those products that have no longer been imported anyway.
All right, good. Conrad, I'm sorry that you keep on coming and going. I believe it's because of network. So Conrad,
yes.
It comes to maybe what Anthony is talking, protecting. I mean, we have talked about these things so many times, but now after this COVID-19, are we going to see ventilators, which are very expensive, being imported? Whereas Anthony's and their innovation, they are saying these ventilators can be made here and they have the capacity to do a certain number, which is very good. What should we see and what should we push as Kenyans?
I think, as we had said in the previous sessions, we have the capacity to do some of these things here. It's only the will and the urgency that is not there. But during this pandemic, at least it has been shown, and the government knows we have the capacity to do some of these things here. So it's up to them to scale up some of these ideas, to scale them up, to refine them more, so that they can be useful in our Kenyan situation. Because some of these things, we don't want to be reliant on the other countries on some of these issues. When you have learned that reliance, it comes a time when you'll be at their mercy. When you're facing a pandemic like what you're facing right now, some of these things you cannot buy them. Even if you get them, they are not there. The pricing is very high. So we need to scale up. We need to encourage our local solution to our local problems. Just the same way this the clarion call, buy made in Kenya. Now we need to ensure it's not just buy made in Kenya, to ensure that there are so many stuff that are made in Kenya, not just us to buy the already existing ones.
All right, good. So guys, I want I want to give you your last perspectives, but first, before that, today I want maybe Wekesa to maybe briefly, because we lost a brother and he was buried today. So maybe we can have all of us just giving just last words to him. And then maybe Anthony, we can just mention he was our friend, and then he passed away, and I think he was known nationally. So I want everyone to say something about this, because he was also a young person like us, and he was doing something in this country. So we can start with Wekesa, we go to Conrad, to Alphonse, and maybe Anthony, if he has something to say about Karanja. And then I'll come to Anthony again to give his last, is in terms of, he can tell us in terms of his innovations apart from the ventilators, and then we'll have the last word. Maybe Wekesa.
Yeah, I said that if I was given chance to design the headstone for Karanja's epitaph, or that stone that is put on the grave, I would put a summary of words and say that here lies a man who was a change maker, but gone too soon. Karanja is one guy whom, if I can summarize Karanja in one word, I'll say he's a passionate guy. He had passion in the things he believed in, and he had passion in the things that he was doing. And he was a go-getter. When he believes in something, he goes for it, and he persistently pursues it until he gets it. So he's one guy who was very passionate about our nation, and he always used to sing about change, and the youth in leadership. So he believes that youth needs to be given a platform to air their views. He believes in a revolution where young people are given space in the places of governance, so that their policies can shape our country. He did not just believe in that, but he used his space he has to implement part of that. And we have seen quite a number of youths who have been inspired by Karanja. We have seen quite a number of projects which have been launched by Karanja and are still sustainable. I was just talking to a number of people who had been affected by Karanja, and they were saying because the burial has been done in a season where most people cannot travel, but they are planning they need a rejoinder, even just to chart the way forward, and then see how do we sustain the dream and the spirit of Karanja after this. He was a member of Selfless International. Selfless International was having a contingent of youths in Kenya and outside in diaspora who were championing for the transformation of our nation. So we have lost a great guy, and we pray that may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Great. That's a good tribute, Alphonse.
I also just take this opportunity to mourn with the family and friends of our colleague and friend, Kenyan, young and vibrant Karanja Mburu. I think I get inspired when I see Kenyans who are committed for a cause. And as I said earlier, I didn't have a physical meeting to conduct, to have him at a personal range. But you see, I have listened to him. And I always believe in people who believe in what they do, and if it's something for humanity. I stand that he's one person I concluded in the many forums I met him in virtually, that he was a visionary leader. My desire is that we learn from him, particularly to have a cause to champion in the country and for our people. Lakeview people, poleni sana, the family and friends. We are mourning with you at this time. May God give you strength at this hour.
Right. Thank you. That's a good tribute. Anthony, I am wished you on this. Do you have something? Anthony? No, okay. So we lost Anthony because I think there's some issues on network, but we'll come to. I hope he can make it. So I'll try to bring him because we have not finished. But anyway, on my side, I want to say Karanja was a good person. I think Steve. I met Steve with Karanja before he even became a politician. He was just thinking to run, and then just believed he can do it. So, and then he did it. So that's how it was. Very simple. So, but anyway, for me, I also maybe will say that before he passed, I was trying to get him to this platform to participate, and I really reached to him several times. So tomorrow we might have one of Stella. I think everyone has seen Stella with a lot of some. I don't know. I don't want to comment so much on that. But Stella might come to just share about Karanja because she was also Karanja's other person, which is also part of life, right? Sindio Wekesa. Wekesa Jafraya Daimane. Yeah, so anyway, so and Stella, she's the one who used to run the show for Karanja. So Anthony is coming. So let's get him back. So all right, so Wekesa, so maybe we can continue with the perspective about young people being change makers, because in respect to Karanja's legacy, we believe, and even to Anthony's Muthungu's legacy is coming back shortly. I believe it's like this is the moment, COVID-19 is the moment that we can actually seize and going forward demand for the right things we can do in this country. Maybe you can continue with that.
Maybe let me begin by where I left last time. We talked jokingly about our herbal medicine. And it looked like a joke, but a day after that, we saw Madagascar is using herbal medicine to cure or to treat COVID-19. So what am I saying? Most of the innovations in Kenya are there, and most of the youths are into something. Some of them, some of these things appear as jokes. They come up with something, and we look at it like the young boy who invented how you can wash your hands, and then how you can put your sanitizer, wash your hands without touching the container. You know, they look simple, and those are clips we like forwarding, and we think, but it shows that Kenyans are very creative. I wish there was what we call talent identification and empowerment, because most of these young innovative minds are not empowered. They are not identified. They are not given the right direction and told that whatever you're doing is the right thing, keep doing. They are not given resources to back up. Most talents get lost because, like I said earlier on, in Kenya, we are into a survival race. You're doing something so that you can put food on the table. And if you do something today, tomorrow, and the next day, and you don't find what you can't get economic sustainability, chances are you will give up. You will go for something else that might help you, something that might sustain you. And that's why you realize most of the degrees we have gained from colleges and campuses, we have put the knowledge aside and we have started to survive. Unaambiwa hapa Kenya, This is how things happen. So all that knowledge, you keep it aside because you know it cannot produce, it cannot add up to your income. Because maybe the innovation you are thinking about. Let me give you an example. Personally, I love writing, and I have a passion in writing. But part of the frustrations I used to get is that you can write a book, yes, but you may not get a publisher because publishers, for the starters, for you to get a publisher, actually you need to fund the whole process. But people who have been established, like today, if our leaders, regardless of the space, whether they are in business or in spiritual or in political, if they write a book, it's not the content that will sell, it is the name. So some of us don't have that goodwill where we can sell, that can sell our products. My brother Alphonse has just talked about that knowledge that can be very useful in terms of our elections. But nobody can pay attention to what he's saying because the name doesn't command some quotas. So they will always want to associate you with even your background. When you are talking, even when we come to this media and start talking about issues that can transform this nation or transform livelihood, people will look at it and say, who is that? And they will brush you off. So they will not even listen what you have said. But guess what? They will go to another wall or a page and somebody is just talking rubbish. But because of the name, because of the status they command in the society, if I am a pastor, everybody will say amen without reading my post. I will just say hallelujah, hallelujah. So what am I saying? We are brought up in a society where we idolize personalities instead of focusing on ideas and see to it, does their idea transform our society? There are ideas that young people are trying to bring on board that can transform this nation. But those who control the systems at the reins of power will always want to scatter those ideas, push them down because they will say, there's nowhere you're going. And they know because they know they have control the resources, they control the way things happen.
Great, thank you. Maybe still Anthony is having some network issues, but he's back. So Anthony, you are talking and then the network went. I'm sorry.
It's raining heavily.
Yeah, sorry about that. So Anthony, you can share. Maybe you can talk also about your company, other products. You know, ventilators, I believe, is one product you have. Is it, Anthony? Anthony, can you hear me? Anthony? Right. Anthony, are you there? All right. So anyway, we will move to maybe parting shots because of the network issues. But let's try. I hope Anthony can make it. So maybe Alphonse, you can put your perspective before Anthony network comes back, and then we'll have parting shots.
I think today I was more listening. I'll talk more as time go by. But today I was trying to practice how to listen, which is a very hard thing for me in a crowd. Wekesa is nodding because he knows me well. Yeah. I think what our viewers and listeners should pick from today's session is that don't sleep and wait for somebody to do something. So when you do it at the right time, your time will come. And as we were discussing about Anthony just as an example, he didn't know that such a situation will come, and then lights up the candle of being known that the solution is a life-saving solution that requires a national and international attention. So don't despise the small things you're doing because they have big impact along the way. Remain persistent, remain consistent. I think to me, I'm interested in our viewers today. And then if you have an idea, begin by basics, register it first. Yeah, register. You can register the name, you can register company, you get some infrastructural things done right, and part of it is those basic registrations.
All right. So Anthony has so many issues in terms of network. So maybe we can do a last parting shot from you, Wekesa, and then we just finish.
Mine will be directed to Kenyan youths, that we have what it takes to lead this nation in different capacities, whether it's in innovation and research, whether it is in political circles, spiritual circles, business-wise. We only need to be resilient. We need to be focused. We need to be determined. And we don't need to focus on things that don't add value in our lives. I'm glad that something called betting died a natural death. It was killing many Kenyans in terms of, betting makes Kenyans believe that we can succeed by luck, but we need to understand values of life and know that it's hard work that pays, and we need to unleash our potential, critically think so that we can bring out the strength that is in us. Otherwise, we are all, I want to summarize with the scripture of Acts 13, verse, I think around 26. It talks about after David having lived by the will of God, he rested. We all need to know the will of God and the purpose for our lives.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So Muthungu is saying he's sorry, he completely could not make it, but we can always bring him again and again because this is the person we need.
Yeah, it's good to bring people with a different perspective and actual actions on the ground so that people don't think the show is just meant for talks. There are actionable issues, and we are building a movement, and the movement is to bring impact. Now, maybe my closing remarks will be directed to the government, and I say it was not a good show when I saw the fight that Keroche is undergoing, which on the tax issues and the related things with KRA. I think that fight is not worth the salt for Kenyans who are venturing into business, especially if the business has been considered legal business. And we have had situations, and I was looking at a documentary where even Softer also suffered the same until they had to close shop, also as locals. I also remember at the time also there's another brand, I think it was called Club Soda. Yeah, they have really suffered a lot in the market again. And most of the fights you find that it's competition unfairly done with multinationals and has the hands of some officials of government. So we request the government to be very supportive of the local entrepreneurs, local ventures, and local initiatives that bring business, bring solutions, so that all the effort that Kenyans are putting in place, including the one our brother Anthony has put in place, should not come and then disappear just like a smoke. But let's get to their fruition, and if there's any change, let the change affect everybody equally, not one player in the market. So I think our government should remain supportive, put infrastructure and legal framework that will support the local the industries and ventures to pick and grow for our economic growth and development.
Awesome, great. Gentlemen, asanteni sana for your contribution. Also, I want to send very special thanks to everyone who tuned in. We'll have another conversation tomorrow, same time. And also tomorrow, maybe afternoon, we'll be hosting Stella to give her side in terms of Karanja Mburu and also share her tribute to Karanja Mburu. So see you everyone. Good night.
Natu, thank you.
All right.
Tutaonana baadaye, usafiri salama, msalimu Maulana. Tutaonana baadaye, tutaonana baadaye, tutaonana baadaye.
Okay. Natamani kujua what your plot is. Hata landlord upeana notice. Akimaundana, ingilia kati. This is expensive but worth it. Kwa nini uliamua kutangolea? That yangu imechange. Tabia kolea usingizi na kutamani. Kushoto kulia unakuja lini? Nitabasamu tena. Unanitenda. Ya kuchukua sijui nani alimtuma. Maombi ni ati wakati rudi nyuma. Jioni nikirudi nikupate kwa nyumba. Vitu zimeshikana ni ngumu kuvunja, but kama una haraka nenda kwanza. Niko na iPad sijalala na usalimie Maulana.
Salama, salimu Maulana. Tutaonana baadaye. Safiri salama, salimu Maulana.